Thank you very much, Chairman Royce, and thank you for working together with Ranking Member Engel to bring us together to talk about one of what I hope to be the first hearings on how Russia interfered in our elections. I certainly hope that this dialogue will continue. The hour is late, and I want to thank everyone that is here, our panelists. Thank you for being so patient with all of us. I truly believe that we need to more fully understand how Russia interfered in our elections. Russian intelligence accessed elements of multiple state and local electoral boards. Since the early 2014, Russian intelligence has researched U.S. electoral processes and related technology and equipment. I feel like we're speaking in two different languages because much of that information has been kept under lock and key in a very classified room. But our electorate, our voters need to know what happened. And that is why I will join my colleagues in calling on an independent, fact-finding investigation, a commission of some sorts, something like the 9/11 Commission. It doesn't have to be specifically that, but we need to figure out how did Russian agents, whether working with one or more than one campaign, how did they interfere in our election? We need the Department of Justice to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate. Ambassador Baer, in your testimony, you state that we need a comprehensive independent review of what occurred. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what that review board would look like and what sort of questions could be asked and what sort of fact-finding information we should be looking for. For instance, should such a review include questions about the extent to which our state's electoral boards were compromised? We know that the FBI provided some support to our secretaries of state. We know that in a couple of cases, they've also sent a team of half a dozen or a dozen investigators to look at exactly how that data was or was not manipulated. Can you comment on that? What could we task this nonpartisan commission to work, and what should be our priority? Should our priority be the Democratic, the DNC, emails, personal emails, or should our priority be protecting our electoral elections for future elections?
Thank you, Congresswoman, for the question. I think my answer to the question would be that if I were designing the mandate for an independent commission of some sort, I would make it relatively broad, because I think part of what we don't know is what we don't know, and I think you want to give the commission the ability to direct their investigatory efforts, their fact-finding efforts, and to redirect that as they learn more about what has happened. And I think the focus should be on foreign, and at this point, particularly Russian efforts to undermine the integrity of our elections, either through the manipulation of the public sphere or through technical means. I think one of the things that has come out, and I worked very closely with the National Association of Secretaries of State during the run-up to our elections, because the OSC actually sends people to learn about how good elections, to observe our elections and see how they work. One of the things we saw is that a number of state election boards had cyber incidents. The fact that the United States has a very decentralized system of managing the actual counting, et cetera, of ballots, right, makes us actually fairly well defended against a massive cyber attack against our electoral system. I think at this point, from what we know and the conclusion of our intel community, the bulk of the influence operation was aimed at the issues that we've been discussing today in terms of hacking and disinformation, but I wouldn't leave other things out. But we also know
that they've spent, a lot of resources in learning about the different types of electoral systems across the U.S. So, given that we know that, what kind of expertise is needed for such a board to be able to conduct that type of information? research.
I think we would. I think if I were designing it again, I would give it a broad mandate. I would hope to have a mix of expertise on the board, and I would give the board latitude to bring in additional expertise as needed as the work proceeds. Because I think you want to make sure that if we're going to go through this, which will necessarily have resource costs as well as political costs. Let's be realistic. You want to make sure that it has the best chance of success, where success is, as Assistant Secretary Bloomfield said, something that will contribute to the progress and the integrity of our democracy going forward and enable the American citizens to have confidence in that.
Thank you. My time has expired. I yield back and hope to continue this conversation with all of you.